Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Report. And the Iggy Azalea Hate Fest continues with T.I. hopping on board here, parting ways with the Australian rapper over some comments that I guess she made in regards to a lesson in hip-hop that Q-Tip was recently trying to give her. And I guess what he felt, along with so many other people, was a condescending, backhanded, disrespectful response to the hip-hop history that Q-Tip laid out for not only herself but everyone else to read. Miss Azalea, I guess, did not take too kindly to the lesson that Q-Tip was trying to give her. I guess in her opinion, rap music is everybody's music, and the music that I do is something that comes out of me, and I don't necessarily have to have knowledge of where it is it came from, why it was created, the conditions that it was created under. I'm here right now, and that's all that matters to me. So I guess as a result of that interview, Lupe Fiasco's name was mentioned, and then he, in some incoherent, rambled off. Listen, Black, when you tweet or when you write, do yourselves a favor and go back and read what it is that you tweet. Okay, you could be the most brilliant person in the world, but when you tweet all this incoherent nonsense that it sounds like just a bunch of hood rat mumbo jumbo, can you people mention or talk about any type of issue without the word nigga? Here it is, you talking about white people, I guess, appropriating our stuff or black culture or black whatever, but you respond in the most belligerent and ignorant way. Check that before you send all that mess out. I went through Q-Tip stuff and it was great, it was brilliant. Even Iggy Azalea's, she gave her response. And then here come Lupe Fiasco with all this pussy ass nigga and all this whole ass, I'm done with you niggas, I try to niggas and all that. Man, please. After Lupe's response, the issue of course, and all this stuff hit the airwaves and everything, the issue of white people and cultural appropriation or theft of black culture. This has been something that the other Azalea Banks, has been on for a long time, which of course she's had Iggy Azalea in her sights for quite a while. And a quote from Azalea Banks from an interview she gave a while back. When they give these Grammys out, all it says to white kids is you're amazing, you're great, you can do anything you put your mind to. And it says to black kids, you don't have shit, you don't own shit, not even the shit you create for yourself. And you are right. The statement is correct, but more so, the last part of your statement is the most important. You don't have shit. You don't own shit. You don't own the shit that you create for yourself. You take your shit and you run to white people to put out your shit. White man, please put out my shit so I can make some money off of my shit. But the white man, when he puts out your shit, he winds up owning your shit. And when you don't own it, you don't control it. So what are you complaining about? All she's saying is, look, hip-hop lesson, that don't mean a hill of beans to me. Rap music now belongs to everybody. And if black people, and this is what she should have said, if you were so concerned and you are so concerned about the cultural appropriation of your shit, then you should own your shit. Start your own record companies. Start your own music video production companies. Manufacture, market, produce, distribute, and control your shit. I don't care about the hip-hop lesson that Q-Tip gave. You don't own what you create. So the lesson doesn't mean anything. Black people are forever trying to school other people who have gotten successful off of their shit when they don't own the shit that they create. That is where you need to focus. Iggy Azalea is just another, she's in a line of a long line of whites who have culturally appropriated what black people have created. They take it and they do big business with their people. White people create awards to give out to other white people. If the Grammys, if they could have that show and not even have you there, you wouldn't be there. It is only by virtue of the fact that you cannot just dismiss black people and black music and black movies and whatever it is that you want to dismiss, but you hold that Grammy. I mean, if you look at how Nicki Minaj is just so bent out of shape because she didn't get an award that black people didn't create, and for a music video. Teen Choice Awards, the VMA Awards, the American Music Awards, the Grammys, all this stuff is crap now. It really is. Nobody, in my opinion, or very few, should get any awards, period. Because all you're putting out is garbage, crap, garbage, garbage, and crap. Okay, none of it. If they give you awards for crap and garbage, then everybody, mostly all of you that are doing music now, should be walking out with tons of awards. All this emphasis on awards and Grammys and this and that, the emphasis should be on, and this is, one of the I think most wasted moments in hip hop music. Suge Knight and Death Row Records were running the West Coast. Puffy or Diddy, I came up when he was Puffy, so he'll always be Puffy to me. But Puffy, Bad Boy Records were running the East Coast. Had you been able to put your big fat egos aside, had you been able, and back when Suge was running Death Row, the industry was terrified of Suge Knight. Nobody would cross Suge Knight. Okay, so can you imagine what would have happened had Bad Boy Records joined forces with Death Row Records, and those two companies would have controlled hip-hop music, East Coast, West Coast, practically everything in between. And when I say combined forces, I mean combined forces get off that white man's dick, because it doesn't matter how hardcore Death Row Records was, doesn't matter how hip-hop Bad Boy Records was, that white man controlled everything from start to finish. So it was all a fraud. Combined forces, market, manufacture, produce, distribute your own shit, and you won't have to worry. Come up with your own awards. Now, the Source Awards, when the Source was red hot, you had the Source Awards and the same, anything from the Source's 5 mics to the Source Awards, which, by the way, the Source was started by a white guy. The Source Awards, which means it's started by a white guy, which is still white people, okay, controlling black people's stuff. But at least it was something that was within the confines of the culture that it was rewarding. Okay, so the Grammys didn't matter. American Music Awards didn't matter. But niggas ghettoized the Source Awards. Why don't we get off of trying to give lessons to white people about stuff we create? White people don't care. Okay, why don't we stop trying to school white people about the history of what black people created, White people don't give a fuck. A very few of them do, but most of them don't. If you want to make an impression on white people, if you want to educate white people, own your own shit, control your own shit, and then that is when white people will give you the recognition you deserve. I would say more so than Iggy Azalea, most of your black rappers today should have read your lesson in hip hop, Q-Tip, because they are the ones who have fucked up hip hop beyond all recognition. They are the ones who have destroyed hip hop and turned it into nothing more than violent, degenerate, belligerent garbage. Not Macklemore, not Iggy Azalea, not Eminem, not any of the white rappers. It is arguable and debatable as to whether or not the white rappers are actually holding down the spirit of hip hop. And the blacks are just mad because they sell more records. And they're going to sell more records by virtue of there being more white people in the country, more white kids than black kids. And if you have grown up with music, or hip hop in this case, you pretty much know. You know the formula. When a rap record sells big time, that means about 4 or 5 million white kids buy it. And what it usually means is about 500,000 black kids bootleg it and pass it around to everybody else. So they're the ones that financially support the music more than black people do. So your lesson on the history of hip hop is really wasted. It needs to be directed at the people who are destroying hip hop more so than anything else. And that would be us. That would be black men. That would be men like Lupe Fiasco, who could read that whole history of hip hop, but can't connect it. Can't connect your words to the words that are coming out of his mouth. So everything that's coming out of his mouth is nigga, 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 pussy ass, nigga, hoe ass, nigga, nigga, bitch, nigga. Where's the history lesson rubbing off on him? Where's the history lesson rubbing off on Lil Wayne and T.I. and Jeezy and 50 Cent and everybody? Come on, man. So we like to attack white people. The white people can be the convenient whipping boys when you want to sound off about who's stealing your stuff. But you really need to address the real problem. And the real problem is, and Miss Banks addressed it, but you don't take it a step further. The Grammys don't mean anything. The American Music Awards don't mean anything. All these video awards and this awards and surfboard awards and I don't, whatever awards you want to come up with, that doesn't mean anything. That gold record that they give you, if it was made out of gold or if it was made out of platinum, it would mean something, but it's not. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is you own, control, create, produce, market, manufacture, distribute your own shit. And then when you do that, this cultural appropriation thing, it won't matter, because to get in that clique, that means you have to have the respect for what it is that you are doing. You have to come with respect in regards to what it is that you're doing. Black people, until you own your stuff, until you own you, ain't nobody gonna respect you, ain't nobody supposed to respect you, and nobody should respect you. And by Lupe's response, I'm assuming after he read Q-Tip's thing, it is quite clear. We don't respect each other. We got a long way to go. We got a real short time to get there. Don't blame the Macklemores, the Iggy Azaleas, the Eminems, the Third Bases, the Vanilla Ices. Don't blame them. Blame yourself. Get your own award show. Recognize yourself. Get your own platform. Recognize yourself. Hold what you do in higher esteem than what you do. And stop always barking and screaming and yelling and whining and complaining when white people take their industry, turn it towards their people, reward their people, benefit off of their people. You deserve to be pushed to the side. If you don't own it, you do not control it. This is KTM in the Wake Up Report saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.